Welcome back, everyone, to another beautiful, crisp, and incredibly peaceful morning in our serene countryside village. As the soft golden light of the early sun gently breaks through the thick mountain mist, casting its warmth over our quiet home, I want to extend my deepest, most heartfelt greetings to each and every one of you watching from all around the world. Your continuous love, beautiful messages, warm encouragement, and genuine support mean more to my little child and me than words can ever truly capture. You are the absolute greatest source of positive energy for us, giving me the strength and determination to face the daily physical struggles of rural life and work hard with my own two hands to build a better future. I pray that blessings follow you all, and I truly hope you find peace, joy, and comfort while sharing in our humble journey today. The morning hours are always the most precious time of the day in the village, as the air is crisp, cool, and filled with the gentle, rhythmic sounds of nature waking up. Today was set to be a very important and physically demanding day for us, as our garden plot was finally ready for a major overhaul. The weather in our valley has been incredibly unpredictable lately, shifting rapidly within just a short period. Yesterday, a biting cold wind swept down from the high northern peaks, keeping the valley chilly and damp. But today, the atmosphere has shifted completely, bringing intense, radiant sunlight and heavy heat. Because the midday sun is set to be exceptionally hot, I decided that the best and most productive use of my time today would be to stay close to our homestead and focus all my physical energy on working within our backyard vegetable garden. Living a self-sustaining off-grid lifestyle means that a well-maintained garden is not just a hobby. It is our primary source of daily nutrition and survival. Over the past few weeks, wild weeds, aggressive grasses, and creeping vines had begun to invade our planting beds, competing with our young vegetable crops for nutrients, sunlight, and moisture. Carrying my baby safely wrapped against my back, I picked up our traditional iron hand-hoe and set to work. Tilling the soil by hand under the blazing sun demands immense physical endurance. I spent hours methodically loosening the hard earth, breaking up tough clods of dirt, and carefully pulling out deep wild roots, ensuring that our vegetable beds were clean, aerated, and perfectly prepared for future planting. While working in the heat of the garden, a serious and unexpected challenge arose that threatened our basic well-being. Feeling exhausted and thirsty from the physical labor, I went to fetch a drink from our usual water source, only to find that the water was bitter, discolored, and extremely difficult to drink. It became immediately clear that our regular water supply had become polluted, likely due to runoff or contaminants upstream. In a remote rural setting, access to pure water is a matter of immediate safety. Drinking contaminated water could easily make my young child or me severely ill. Leaving the garden tasks behind, I knew I had to immediately set out into the surrounding hills to find a completely new, clean, and unpolluted water source to ensure our family's safety. I strapped my baby securely to my chest, picked up our woven basket and tools, and began trekking deep into the dense, shaded mountain forest, following the natural upward incline of the rocky terrain. After a long, physically demanding search through thick bamboo groves and steep paths, my efforts were rewarded. Tucked away beneath a mossy stone ledge, I discovered a hidden, pristine mountain spring where crystal-clear water bubbled up naturally from deep within the earth. I bent down, scooped up the fresh water, and tasted it. It was incredibly cool, crisp, and very easy to drink, completely free of any bitterness or pollution. The sense of relief that washed over me was overwhelming, knowing that nature had provided a safe solution for my family. Discovering the clean water source was only the first step. The true technical challenge lay in figuring out how to transport this heavy, precious fluid from the high, rocky mountain slopes all the way back down to our homestead. Carrying heavy buckets of water across steep, muddy forest trails every single day would be physically exhausting and inefficient, especially while caring for a baby. Relying on traditional primitive resourcefulness, I decided to use the abundant natural materials around me and construct a gravity-fed pipeline system using sweet bamboo poles. Sweet bamboo is ideal for water transport because its thick stalks are naturally hollow, incredibly strong, and completely safe for holding clean drinking water. I selected several mature, straight green bamboo trees from a nearby grove and used my sharp handbill hook to cut them down with precise, rhythmic blows. Once the heavy poles were felled, the real craftsmanship began. I carefully split the long bamboo stalks down the middle, creating open, U-shaped wooden troughs. I then used a long wooden rod to clean out the interior nodes and fibrous blockages within the bamboo tubes, making the inner surfaces perfectly smooth so that water could flow smoothly without any friction. Working methodically on the mountain slope, I began laying the bamboo troughs end to end, interlocking the joints carefully to create a continuous elevated pipeline channel. By utilizing the natural downward slope of the mountain, gravity would naturally pull the cool spring water down through our handmade bamboo channels, creating a continuous flowing aqueduct system that would bring a steady supply of fresh, unpolluted water right into our backyard. After securing the bamboo channel network and ensuring a steady flow toward the homestead, I returned to the garden plot with a renewed sense of purpose. The sun was now high in the sky, baking the landscape in a deep, heavy heat that rippled across the open fields. Despite the physical fatigue creeping into my muscles, the successful diversion of the mountain spring gave me the mental clarity to continue with the agricultural tasks. I turned my attention back to the freshly tilled soil, smoothing out the planting beds and establishing clean rows for our new seeds. I carefully opened our packets of fresh vegetable seeds, holding the small, delicate kernels in the palm of my hand. Each seed represents a promise of future sustenance, a tiny catalyst that, with the right combination of soil, water, and care, will transform into nourishing food for my child. Using my fingers to press small indentations into the soft, aerated earth, I placed the seeds one by one into their designated spots, covering them gently with a fine layer of nutrient-rich topsoil. I then utilized the newly brought mountain water to gently moisten the entire nursery bed, providing the vital hydration needed to break the seed's dormancy and trigger the germination process. Knowing that in just a few short days these tiny seeds will sprout and break through the dark earth brings an immense sense of fulfillment, reminding me that the hardest days of physical labor always yield the sweetest rewards. The passage of time in the mountains brings a rhythmic transition, moving seamlessly from the initial hours of hard agricultural setup into the following days of foraging and harvest. The next morning arrived with a softer light, the air filled with the familiar heavy moisture that blankets the forest floor after a period of intense temperature shifts. With the new vegetable seeds resting quietly under the damp soil waiting to germinate, my focus shifted toward the abundant wild resources that grow naturally in the surrounding valley. Today, my young child and I set off deep into the dense, towering bamboo groves that border our village to dig for sweet bamboo shoots, a highly anticipated seasonal harvest that provides both a delicious meal for our table and an opportunity for trade. Carrying a baby through the wild, overgrown paths of a bamboo forest requires complete concentration and physical balance, as the ground is uneven, covered in slippery leaves and hidden root networks that demand steady, deliberate steps. As we push deeper into the cool, shaded canopy of the forest, the unique environment of the bamboo grove unfolded around us. Finding sweet bamboo shoots is an art form that requires a keen eye and deep patience. Early in the season, the shoots grow quite unevenly across the forest floor, often remaining partially buried beneath the rich leaf litter and loose soil. After carefully scanning the base of a large, mature bamboo cluster, my efforts were rewarded when I spotted the telltale signs of fresh growth breaking through the earth. Digging closer into the soil, I discovered two large, healthy bamboo bulbs growing tightly together, their thick, pale jackets packed with natural moisture. Using a specialized digging tool, I carefully worked around the base of the shoots, applying steady leverage to sever them cleanly from the main underground rhizome without damaging the surrounding root structure. Sweet bamboo shoots are incredibly tender and sweet when harvested at this precise stage, though it is a well-known piece of local wisdom that one shouldn't consume too many of them raw without proper cooking to ensure easy digestion. While harvesting the clusters, I noticed that several remaining bamboo shoots had already grown quite tall, stretching upward toward the light. Rather than harvesting these mature ones, I deliberately chose to leave them untouched so they could grow fully into strong, mature bamboo trees to preserve the forest's natural cycle. With the afternoon moving quickly and the shadows lengthening across the valley, I gathered our freshly dug shoots and placed them into our woven basket. Knowing it was getting late and I needed to bring these bamboo shoots directly to the market to sell before the daily crowds dispersed. Alongside our wild bamboo shoots, the local region is famous for another seasonal specialty dish, unique palm and coconut grubs that live deep within the trunks of palm and coconut trees. However, during this particular time of the year, these prized grubs grow very slowly, meaning there aren't many available yet in the wild to collect. Arriving at the local trading spot just as the evening trade was peaking, I approached a neighboring vendor to ask if I could borrow their mechanical counterweight scale to accurately weigh out our fresh harvest for customers. The local market dynamics are straightforward, with fresh, wild sweet bamboo shoots commanding a steady price of approximately 0.61 USD per kilogram from eager home cooks looking for organic ingredients. I carefully weighed out the bundles, handing over the crisp, freshly dug shoots to the local buyers and collecting our modest earnings, which will go directly towards supporting our small household needs. After completing the final transactions and successfully selling our day's forage, I gratefully returned the borrowed scale to my fellow vendor and prepared to head back home as the sun dipped completely behind the western hills. Carrying my content, rested child, back along the quiet, darkening village path, my heart felt completely at peace, fully aligned with the beautiful, hard-working reality of our rural life. The journey home from the market was filled with a profound sense of peace as the twilight began to drape over the vast green terrace fields of our valley. Walking along the familiar dirt pathways with my child resting gently against my chest, I reflected on the beautiful, continuous cycle of our daily existence. How a challenge in the morning transforms into a solution by afternoon, and how the gifts of the wild forest provide direct sustenance for our small home. Every step taken on this path is a testament to the resilient spirit of rural life, where nothing is taken for granted and every small success is earned through honest, physical labor. Upon arriving back at our quiet homestead, the first stars were just beginning to peer through the deepening blue of the evening sky. I carefully unstrapped my baby, who had been lulled into a deep, content sleep by the steady rhythm of my stride, and placed him safely inside our home. With the borrowed scale returned and the day's earnings securely put away, I walked out to the edge of our clearing to check on the newly constructed bamboo water pipeline and the freshly planted vegetable beds. The cool mountain spring water was still flowing beautifully through the split bamboo troughs, a steady, soothing murmur in the quiet night that promised a reliable, clean supply for all our future needs. Living this life as a young mother is undeniably demanding, yet it brings a profound clarity that cannot be found anywhere else. Tomorrow will bring a new sunrise, new chores, and new opportunities to nurture the land, care for my child, and build upon the foundation we have laid today. As I prepare to close out this chapter and rest my tired muscles, I want to thank each and every one of you once again for your incredible warmth, your blessings, and for walking alongside us through every challenge and triumph. Until we meet again in the next video, take care of yourselves, stay peaceful, and goodbye.